Welcome to the Enthusiast Gaming Podcast, where today we're going to be discussing convention tips, more convention tips. We did this last year, but we're going to kind of bring it back and we're going to kind of line it up for you in a timely manner, like, what you should do 6 to 3 months, 3-month mark, etc., etc. Then we're going to be talking about some verses. We're going to be looking at Splinter Cell versus Metal Gear, and maybe an extra one if we have some time. 2025, the year of Xbox Game Pass, is another subject. Nintendo's pushing digital games, apparently. And then we're going to talk about our gaming habits, how they've changed over the years, and we're going to wrap things up with a pulse check. So, if you don't know what a pulse check is, we just take a look at a quick look at some retro gaming prices. We pick a high one and a low one each month. That's what that is. And this is a big meaty show. Obviously, this is more topics than we usually do. So this is going to run us, through May, April, and then lead us into June, where hopefully we'll have a special guest.
Ooh.
Follow us on social media.
I wonder who.
We'll see. We're this close. I do also want to mention one bit of housekeeping, just so you guys know. If you're watching here, which here could be, who the hell knows where you're watching? If you're watching on YouTube.com/@NerdThusiastGaming, that's where we put all of our gaming content, early before it goes up on the main channel. That's where we want you guys to go and subscribe to. That's, the home for all gaming stuff here at Nerdthusiast. If you want to check out our legacy content, it's youtube.com/Nerdthusiast. That's our main channel. Our content that we're producing here does go up there eventually, but it's usually about a month or so after the show comes out, in bits and pieces. We put the full episode up over there about a month later. So if you guys could subscribe to both, like, share, ring the bell, all that fun stuff, that would be spectacular. If you like what you hear today, please give us a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the other great ones that are out there. With me, as always, guys, is my great friend Wes. Wes, how you doing, man?
What's going on, my friend?
Not much, man. I'm excited for the show. A lot of subjects to talk about.
A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to cover.
And it's heating up, Wes. Convention season's here. We're going to be talking about that in just a second. I'm excited. SoCal's back. SoCal Gaming Expo. You're going to too many games this year, right?
Yes, sir. I'm excited. It's convention season. I'm happy.
Me too, man. So these are the two big ones that you and I usually go to. Eventually we're going to go to one together. It's only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that time is coming up sooner than later. Right? I think by next year we'll probably be at a convention together. What do you think?
I think so too. For people who don't know, Matt's in California. I'm in Jersey.
Right. So it's a little hard to get together.
Yeah, just a little.
But let's kick things off with conventions, guys. So last year we did a video about, we just kind of threw a bunch of stuff at you. It was a little bit jumbled, right? It was like, oh, you should do this, this, and this. We had a structure, but this time I want to talk to you guys about it, as a planning mechanism. What you guys should be doing, between the 6 to 3 month marker. So the first thing you got to figure out is, are you going solo or are you going with people? Right, Wes?
That's always good. Because you can kind of gauge your day based on if you're going solo or if you're going with a friend or a group of friends. Because for me, it's a different experience. If and I'm talking not just the gaming conventions, but Comic Cons. It's all the same. If I go by myself, I'm focused and I can kind of do my thing. But if I'm with people, you kind of have to do kind of what the group wants, and it's a different experience.
Yeah, there's a give and take there when you have other people. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, plan if you're going by yourself or with people.
Right. Or if you're going to like one of these multi-day conventions, like, listen, Friday, we're going to do whatever you guys want. Let's go. Saturday, leave me the hell alone. I'm doing my own thing. Like, you do something like that too, not be rude to anybody, but just, say it a different way.
Well, I usually do that. Like when I go to Comic Cons, I usually go the first day by myself.
Yeah.
And I kind of do my thing, go at my own pace, look what I don't want to look at. And same thing with too many games. Like, so this year, going multiple days. First day, I'm probably going to go by myself. Second day, I'm going with friends. And said when I go to Comic Cons, I do the same thing. If we go to New York, I usually bring my family on like day 3.
Okay.
So
you've already been there for a while. You're like, all right, what do you guys want to do?
Exactly.
Makes sense. That's a good strategy. I like that. So once you have that established, how many people are going, the next thing you need to do is book a room if you're going to go for a multi-day trip. If you're going for a single-day trip and you can get there and home like at a relative time, don't bother booking a hotel. It's a waste of money.
Hmm.
If you plan on staying there for a few days, it's definitely worth doing. Um, I recommend it. My sweet spot is like 2 days. I think 3 days is too much. I think 2 days is like perfect. But I usually do get a hotel. I'm getting a hotel this year. And you just want to figure out, how many rooms you're going to need depending on how many people are going to go with you, or do an
Okay.
Airbnb.
No, yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, I guess it's all a matter of proximity.
Hmm.
Like for too many games, I'm like an hour and a half away.
That's not too far.
It's not too far, so I'll drive back and forth. When I go to, like, for example, when I go to New York Comic Cons, it's 4 days. I'm about 2 hours from New York. Driving back and forth, going to New
No,
York, dealing with that traffic
nah,
is
man.
murder. I've done it. I've done it. My one daughter got married and lives closer to New York. She's like about 30 minutes. So I'll go spend the night with her, go Friday, drive home Saturday, grab my family. We drive up Saturday. We'll get a hotel Saturday night and do Sunday.
You go back to get your family and then drive back again?
Yeah, it's kind of
That
crazy.
sounds crazy, bro. Why don't they just meet you there?
It's too many cars.
I get that too.
It's too many cars. We'll just take one car. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So yes, it's all a matter of proximity. If you're more than 2 hours, I definitely recommend getting a room.
Yeah, get a room, scope it out, right? Find out what amenities the hotel has, proximity to the venue you're going
Hmm.
to. Do you want to just be able to walk to your hotel? That's one thing that I usually look for. Like, I'll pay a little bit more to be closer to the venue. If it means I can have a drink and not have to worry about anything, I can walk. You know, anywhere without having to drive is fantastic. So I'll avoid that
Yeah,
as much as possible.
yeah. And one thing you want to do is book early,
Yes.
especially for the big conventions. You want to book early because they fill up. Rooms fill
Hmm.
up quick because everybody's going to have the same idea. Everybody's going to want to stay. So the earlier you kind of know your plans, the better. You have a better chance of getting a room.
Yeah, and if it's not like a giant thing like Comic Con or something, I would say get a refundable room, because what you can do if you have a refundable room is when it gets closer to the venue. I actually did this last year. The rates dropped. There was a way better deal, like I would say 3 or 4 days before the event,
Hmm.
and I was able to rebook and get that better deal. And it came with it came with like food and drinks.
Oh,
The other
nice.
one, yeah, it was cheaper and it came with food and drinks. It was like, okay, well, if they said no, I would have just canceled and rebooked. But I just called them and they rebooked it for me.
Nice.
But if the room was not refundable, guess what? Nope. You get what you paid for, and that's it. So I would definitely recommend paying a little bit extra to get a refundable room if you think it's not going to be sold out everywhere. That's putting us between the 6 and the 3 month time frame. I would say you want to start most of that stuff like 6 months out, you know, or if they only give you like a 5 month notice, 5 months, something like that.
Hmm.
But let's narrow some stuff down to the 3 months a little bit. I would say within 3 months, if not earlier, you got to start planning it out with a budget, because if you're going to go to a retro gaming one, you got to bring cash. Other ones you might be able to get away with credit cards, but cash is king at these retro game conventions. You can get better deals. You got to bring cash to these things. Wes, what do you think? 3 months out or longer? What does your budgeting start?
Usually about 3 months. Yeah, you hit it. About 3 months. I'm like, okay, I know this event is coming up. Let me start putting some money aside, a little bit each paycheck, just so I know what I'm working with. Um, yeah, video game conventions definitely bring cash.
Yes.
Like you said, cash is king. Um, a lot of the vendors are willing to negotiate a little bit more with cash
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to credit card. I mean, they'll still sell you the product with a card, but it's the tax and then the credit card fees and in emergency cases, yeah, use a credit card, but go with cash.
Yeah, if you plan ahead, you won't have an emergency case. You won't be busting out your credit card for a few $1,000s for a little Sam's, and you won't be doing that. You'll either have the cash or you won't, and be smart about it. Yeah, so that's I think that's probably the biggest thing for the 3 months out. Any other things you can think of that need to be about 3 months out?
That's pretty much it.
1 week. Make a list of everything you need a week before so you don't miss anything. Didn't do this last year. Paid for it, in the form of I had no business cards. Forgot all my business
Mhm.
cards and stickers that I planned on giving out to people.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the one thing I forgot. But I didn't make a list and I didn't check it ahead of time. So that was what I did off my brain.
The one thing I didn't do is, like you said, make a list. Make a list of what you're looking for.
Yeah, that too. That I think you should start that 3 months in advance. Honestly, like when you're getting the cash, that's a great thing to start 3 months in advance. Is because you might be thinking like a week ahead of time. Well, what do I want? I don't even know. You just start writing things down, even throughout the year. You
Yeah.
think of something, write it down, and get ready for that convention.
Yep. Definitely have a list. But a week before, yeah, start really thinking about what it is you are trying to hunt down. Do you have something you're looking for this year?
I think I've written down like two or three things. I was way worse about it this year than last year. By now, I had like a full list of what I was looking for. But if you guys know me, I don't look for like high end stuff. I look for like cheaper stuff that I actually would want to play, or stuff that's not crazy. Every once in a while, I'll buy an expensive game, and expensive to me is like $100. I'm not buying these $1,000 games. I'm not. That's insanity. Like I don't care.
Mhm.
Like if I really wanted to play Little Samson or something, I'll emulate it. I'm not paying thousands of dollars. Um, but yeah.
Okay.
So I think I have like three or so. I'll probably end up with like I usually have I want to have somewhere between 5 to 10 games that I look for. Anything else is
Okay.
just like if I have extra money, I see something like, oh, that's cool. Let me buy that.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
about you?
I got about, I think I have one or two things definitely on the list. But then I also have like a generic, like for example, Sega CD. I just put Sega CD,
Like whatever you can find.
whatever I can find.
That's going to be
Um,
Turbo Graphics for me this year. Like last year, there was like nothing, Wes. Like nothing. There was like one vendor I think that had Turbo Graphics games, maybe two. And anything I was interested in was either too expensive or like nothing I cared about. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. I mean, I know we're talking about 1 week out, but if you haven't done it yet, download Game Eye. It would make your life so much easier. It keeps a catalog of what you have in your collection as far as games, and it makes it so much easier when you do go to these conventions to know what you have already.
Yep.
So, look, just a little tip.
And then actually use it because last year I didn't use it and I actually bought a game that I already had. I didn't know it. So
Really? Oh
one
man.
game. I didn't look at it. I was like, I know I don't have this game. I had it. It was like a $10 game. I really didn't care, but I was just like, damn.
Okay.
I was like, damn it, the hell. Um,
Oh yeah, I was using Game Eye like all through the convention.
dude, I did like every time except for the one time I was like, I don't need this. I know I don't have
Mm.
this.
It is a free app, so yes, download it. It is the best app you will ever download.
Yep. It's awesome. Awesome. Highly recommend Game On. Scout out places to eat. This is a necessity. I think I mentioned this last year. The food in these places generally sucks. It's terrible. Like you gotta look for places to eat. For God's sake, I can't do it anymore. I mean, I did it when I was younger, but I can't. I absolutely will not spend $15 on a crappy hot dog or like chicken fingers that aren't even like decent. Like there's decent chicken fingers in the world, but they're not at these conventions. I'm telling you that right now.
You know what? I don't know. I'll say, all right, so too many games. The food wasn't bad, and it was priced very reasonable.
Well, that's surprising.
New York Comic Con, you're inside the Javits Center. There's tons of food vendors, and it's priced ridiculous. Food's not bad tasting; it's just way overpriced. Philly Comic Con, you're right across the street from a big food mart terminal, Reading Terminal Market, which has tons of food places in it. There's a Chipotle, so there's other places really with close by within walking distance that you can opt to go eat to. So
Nice.
yeah, definitely check out eating places and kind of get a game plan.
Yeah, if you want to do stuff like after hours too, scout that stuff out. Like for retro game conventions, there's probably like barcades and stuff nearby. Stuff like that, or just a bar in general if you want to go have a drink. Oh, I do want to give Metal Jesus a shout. If you guys don't watch him, he's obviously much bigger than we are on YouTube. But he does these travel videos, and they're like my favorite videos that he does. And like he travels around, and like he doesn't just show you like the gaming convention. He shows you like what he's done and like where he's going and like other stuff, and they're really really cool. So scout out those locations. Like maybe you just want to go visit like a national park or something like that. You know, go do those things when you're somewhere else. That's what I would also recommend. Oh, in that window too, just a reminder, when you're in that 1 week window and if you did do the refundable hotels, that is the time to start checking for better prices. See if you can get a better rate within that 1 week. Then we got the day before. I'll start things off. You got to check the weather. Don't be stupid. Check the weather. That way you pack appropriately.
Mhm.
It doesn't rain in Southern California often. It rained last year. Guess who didn't have a jacket? I had a
You.
hoodie though, but I also wasn't standing out in the rain. It would, I really didn't need a jacket. A hoodie was fine, but if I was standing in line, that would have been a different story. Luckily, I got my entrance. Like I got in a little early, so I didn't have to deal with that. But I easily could have, and my hoodie would have been probably drenched because I certainly didn't bring an umbrella either. It's not something you think about, where I live.
Another thing you should definitely bring. We talked about it in our last video last year, but make sure you have like a backpack or a bag, something to carry
Hmm.
your stuff in. You know, because you don't want to be walking around with stuff in your hand.
Yes,
You
you
know,
need
it's
a semi-empty backpack. You should have very little, like pack as little as you can in there. Please pack deodorant for God's sake. Put deodorant in there. Do yourself and everybody around you a favor, just in case it's going to smell in there. I'm telling you that right now. If you go to one of these conventions, it's going to stink. Be the courteous one. Don't be the stinky one, please.
it's not that bad.
It can be. It can be. Pack gum, pack whatever you want, like some water.
Hmm.
You can get away with water in these places. Usually can't get away with just about anything else, but water you can walk in with. Other stuff you want to pack and bring with you. Obviously if you're spending the night, you want to bring like a toothbrush, medication, stuff like that. But electronics, you want to bring a phone charger. You want to
Hmm.
come with your phone completely charged.
Yes.
Um, Bring snacks if you feel like you need to eat throughout the day. Bring a battery backup if you're filming or recording stuff. Bring the appropriate gear that you need for that.
You know, wear comfortable shoes,
Mm,
sneakers.
that's a good one.
Yeah. You know, hey dudes, whatever. Just don't. Flip flops are the worst.
Oh no,
I've
you
seen a couple
cannot.
people with flip flops, and you're on your feet all day, walking all day, and yeah, your feet will definitely start to hurt.
Yeah. Plus, nobody wants to see that. Please do everybody else a favor and put on some shoes. No, I would say just a step beyond that. Wear comfortable clothes. My God, you don't want to be wearing something uncomfortable. Like I think I usually wear like jeans and a t-shirt. I might wear basketball shorts this year. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I got my cargo shorts and a
Carter
t-shirt.
shorts are good.
Cargo shorts and a t-shirt. There we go.
That's a good plan. Those are the main things for the day before, like getting really
Mhm.
ready. What you should do is come with a game plan, look at the convention website, and schedule out what you want to do. Do you want to go to panels? You should know when the panels are.
Mhm.
Panels do also change, so when you get to the venue, you should check their boards and see when the panels actually are taking
Mhm.
place. Um, which vendors do you want to go to first? Think about that. Um, and I would
Yeah.
just say one other thing you want to keep in mind is the last day is usually the best day to buy something. However,
Mhm.
if you're looking for something sought after, there's a real good shot it's not going to be there by the last day if this is like an uncommon or rare item.
Yeah, so if you're going to a game convention, if you see it, buy it.
Well,
Because you know, if you walk away, there's a good chance it may be gone when you go back.
I would say if it's a common game, don't. But if it's an uncommon or rare game,
Mhm.
yeah, you might want to pull the trigger on it a little bit quicker. A game like let's just use like GTA 5 for whatever reason. If you're looking for GTA 5, you're going to find them all over the place. You have no problem finding a copy of that, right?
Correct.
So as long as it's an uncommon or rare game, it's not something you typically see every day. Yeah, Wes is right. You should probably just pick it up.
Yeah, because like last year, I know there was a vendor that had a Genesis game that you were looking for, Shove It,
Hmm.
I think it was called. And I was like, oh wow, let me see if Matt
That's
still
it's
needed
an
it.
uncommon game. It's not something most people look for, but it is an uncommon game.
Hmm. I think I text you. I walked away, I think you were working, so you didn't get back to me right away.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
what happened.
when you did, you were like, okay, yeah, it's, if they have it, if it's a decent price, go get it. So I went back and it was already gone. But I'm talking a time span of maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's not even that long. That's crazy. I
Hmm.
really can't. I can't believe that anybody in the world bought that game in 45 minutes, Wes. The game's
Yeah.
not great. I just want it back because it was one of the few games that I actually sold in my life that I never got back.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I remember. So I was like, oh, okay, well they have it. So let me see if you want it. But yeah, if there's something like that that you see it and you think you want it, just grab it.
Yeah, and for God's sakes, if anybody listening to this is going to be at SoCal, please bring your Genesis games this year. There was like nothing last year. I couldn't believe it, Wes. Like they try to think about the market and what's going to sell, and there was like no Genesis games. I did buy one or two, but
Hmm.
like you would think there'd be Genesis games from like what? No, no, very little Genesis.
Oh man, too many games had tons of Genesis games.
I think that's also an East Coast West Coast thing. I think Genesis was
Hmm.
way bigger in the East Coast, and I think Super Nintendo was probably bigger out here. Um, but yeah, I know I saw videos of too many games. I was very jealous of all the Genesis stuff around.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of like the odd, like the rarities. I didn't see a lot of Sega CD. I didn't see a lot of 3DO. I didn't see a lot of Jaguar. I didn't see a lot of that. Um, but yeah, Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, GameCube, Xbox 360. Yeah, all that stuff was all over the place.
Yeah, I didn't see much Jaguar or like 3DO, like the weirder stuff. You didn't see much. Turbo Graphics, I didn't see much
Turbo
of.
Graphics. I didn't see
I
a lot of Turbo Graphics either.
I saw more Sega Saturn than I thought I was going to see. Honestly, um,
You
I was
know, I
kind of
did too.
surprised.
I did too.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I was like, why does everybody have They didn't have a lot, but a lot of
Mhm.
vendors had like 10, 15 Sega Saturn. I was like, what? How does everybody in this place have Sega Saturn games?
That's awesome.
They don't have any Genesis games though. Anyway, um, that's pretty much it for the convention stuff. Anything else you want to add, Wes?
Nah, I think we're good. If you do decide to go multiple days or go on the last day, sometimes that's the best day to go because the vendors don't want to take all this stuff back, so they're looking to kind of really make deals
Yeah,
just so they can sell it.
I got some great deals the last day. I mean, it wasn't like anything mind blowing, but like games that were costing like $15 a piece, I was getting for like $3 to $5. Like,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
you buy them in like a bundle. Buy like, well, if you buy like three or four, the price gets lower and lower because they're just trying to unload stuff. Some people are.